Hello and welcome to the Healthy Lifestyle Conversations brought to you by Correct. I'm Izel Maden, your host and functional medicine certified health coach, joined by my amazing co-host and dear brother Eli, a certified health and life coach. Get ready for an inspiring and motivational journey filled with practical tools to guide you towards a healthier, happier version of yourself. Each week, we'll delve into science-backed, up-to-date information on nutrition, movement, sleep, breathing, relationships, stress management, and positive mindset. Throughout our conversations, you will discover how these lifestyle factors not only contribute to your well being, but also pave the way for a more meaningful, peaceful, and joyful life experience. So, whether you are tuning in during your morning routine or winding down in the evening, we are thrilled to have you with us. Let's embark on this transformative journey together. Hello, how are you, Eli?
Hi, Zan. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Hello to all our audience. Good to see you too. Nice opportunity to see each other. It's a little bit irony that today we will talk about sleeping, sleep quality, and now our baby has the sleeping regression. We are waking up a lot of times during the night, but still the rules are the rules, and the tips are the tips that are helping me. What about you?
Yes, after the travels, I had a slow week. So I was working from home and I did more this week, so that was good. I have a good friends, and after listening a podcast, what we did when we talk to each other is instead of asking how we are and how we are feeling, we ask us sleep that we had. It's not how are you? It's like how did you sleep last night? I think it's a good point.
Yeah. We talked about nutrition for 4 months, almost, I guess. And now we will changing our topic, another lifestyle factor in our life, which can help us to feel much more healthier and a lot of other good things that we will talk soon. We can start to see why at all should we take care about our sleep.
I think sleep is my favorite topic. Of course, can it change?
It touches also my personal life because when I, especially before this talk, was going through the consequences of poor sleep, I had all of them that were listed, almost all of them. So now, after taking care of my sleep hygiene that we will talk now, I really see the difference in my health. So I can be a testimonial for this change. Benefits of adequate and good quality sleep are various. I would like to start with the improved mood, which might be clear for some of us, but it was fascinating as much as I started to read about that actually. As long as we have a adequate sleep, we will be much more less prone to have anxiety and other mood issues. We would have also improved mental function, which can be our memory and focus and thinking ability, being creative. All of those are affected with a good quality sleep. There's a really strong connection between our sleep quality and our immune system. Other than that, good sleep is giving us to manage our energy, reproduction, and then also stress relief effect, which also then affects our mood again. Our heart health, cardiac health is also related to our sleep, and also regulating our blood sugar, maintaining our weight is also dependent on our sleep, and recovery from the injuries, building our muscles are also related to good sleep quality, which also includes the athletic performance. These are all the benefits that we can have. On the other side, there are also the consequences of poor sleep. If our sleep is deprived, so we can start to build reduced cognitive abilities, functions, memory loss, brain fog. or also digestive issues are related to sleep deprivations, and then mental health concern. We can have metabolic issues like blood pressure, or we can have heart disease if we will constantly continue to have a poor sleep. So it can have really severe effects at the end of the day for a long period of time. These are all motivation or the reasons to take care of our sleep. We understand that it is much more than just being refreshed and re-energized. All the core things of our health are related to our sleep.
I'm guessing audience actually knows this, but maybe a couple of decades ago, what we thought sleep was just turning off, just not doing anything. But we now know the body is still doing a lot, even some parts of the immune system and so on is still ongoing. The function is ongoing during sleep, so that's very important. Two approaches to this, I think, that are very interesting. One is the vicious cycle with mood, because mood and stress. Because we know if we have low in mood and have high levels of stress, our sleep will be affected. And then if you don't break the vicious cycle, then we will not have a good sleep because of our stress or low mood, which will contribute to low stress and stress levels. And the other thing is the secret ingredient that sleep is, with especially weight loss and blood sugar, because all the hormones are also changing if we don't have enough sleep. So if you're on a mission to lose weight and eat healthier, trying to stay away from sugary stuff, it's much more difficult when we're not having a good sleep. So that's actually very interesting. And one thing I learned maybe quite recently in the last year is about muscles, and as you were saying, athletic performance. Even if you're having enough protein and working out, even working with weights, if you're trying to put on muscle, if you're not having enough sleep, you will probably put on about 30% of your potential. The 70% will not be there just because you're not sleeping well. So these are quite nice secret ingredients to work on.
Okay. Great, thank you very much for the contribution to that. When we talk about sleep quality, there's a concept which is called sleep hygiene. I think in the 70s it was developed to deal with the sleep deprivation and the insomnia. Sleep hygiene is actually the good sleep habits, the collection of them, and the practice of yours in order to have a good, adequate sleep throughout the night. When we talk about sleep hygiene, there are three main topics. First of all, the duration of the sleep is important, and then the time of the sleeping is important during the day, and also the quality. In general, the recommendation is that the sleep time should be for a regular adult between 7 to 9 hours. So 8 hours is ideal, but it depends, of course, for all individuals. Less than 7 hours and more than 9 hours, maybe there's something that you need to check. It can be too less or too much. We shouldn't just consider the numbers, but this is a good time to sleep for an adult. Then the time of the day that you should having this time of the sleep, 8 hours up to 9 hours, should be approximately from 10 p.m. and up to 6 a.m. because this is according to your circadian rhythm, which is actually your biological clock that you have in your body that differentiates between the daytime and the nighttime, and your hormones are secreted accordingly. Nighttime melatonin hormone, sleep hormone secreted, and during the day you have more cortisol, stress hormone, and waking you up. So this rhythm should be sequenced with your sleeping time. So it's a good idea to have your sleep throughout the night and not day. So shift workers, which I also had some time of my engineering job, could be problematic for your biological system. But it's part of the life. Still, you can work on the other stuff of quality sleep and the amount of your sleep.
With the circadian rhythm, at certain times there are hormones which will help liver function. There are sometimes hormones that help with, as I was mentioning, detox the brain. Without sleep on those times, then you will be missing out on this function. That's why circadian rhythm is quite important. How do we know about the circadian rhythm? Is it a personal thing or is it a generalized timing during the day?
It's personalized, but some kind of different shifts of 1 hour, 2 hour can be different from person to person. But still is the main indication of when is the day and when is the night. It depends where we live. Jet lag is according to the circadian rhythm. When we go to other country where the time is different, then it's sometimes very hard for us to get used to it and on the way back.
Yes, and one thing I think is quite important there is listening to your body, as we always talk about. When I talk about thirst, this is the same with sleep. So the first thing to see when your circadian rhythm is showing that you need to sleep is probably to actually realize that you are sleepy instead of resisting it and working one more episode and so on. With excitement, you probably talk about the hobbies, but still slowing down and to realize when you're getting sleepy. And if it's always the same time, most days of the week, I think that would be a good time to discuss it.
Well, of course, we can always do changes according to our daily needs. What I mean by that, it's a good idea to sleep at 10 p.m., but it's not always possible, of course. So then, in order to make the recovery, we can do other stuff and balance the things. We are aware of the reality of the day-to-day life. And so we should behave accordingly the next day maybe, or in the next couple of days. Sometimes you have a project and you don't sleep for 5 a week or something, not a good sleep, but then the other week you know that you need to rest. Although if not, your body will talk about that sooner or later.
It's a shame that we can't store sleep. We always need to catch up with the missed sleep, so that's a shame.
We talked about the circadian rhythm and the duration of the sleep, but also it's important the quality of our sleep, which is dependent on a lot of different things that we can do. So let's get a deep dive into the practical things that we should or we could do in order to have a more quality sleep.
What do you mean by quality sleep? Yes.
As a short answer, there are different stages in our sleep, like rapid eye movement, REM sleep, and non-REM sleep, different stages. Every stage has different function in our body. I will not go into the details, maybe another episode, but the quality of the sleep is dependent on how much of those stages we can have during our sleep. So let's say if we will have a very light sleep and not going to deep sleep, so we will miss some of the stages, and then we will miss some of the benefits of those stages. So quality sleep means that you will have all the stages in your sleep, like the REM and non-REM, all of the stages.
Just one thing about quality of sleep, because I know many friends, my coaches, or even dental patients that I treat for snoring and so on, they will say, I have no issue in sleep. I sleep 10 hours a day, sleep like a baby. So sleep quality is not really about this. Actually, all of these might be signs of poor quality, because it might mean that you need the sleep. That's why you might be sleeping more than average time, because the body is trying to get more and more. So quality is not enough.
So the deep sleep maybe at least 20%, REM sleep 20%, and the light sleep 60%, just a general idea. If you have the deep sleep only 10%, as Eli said, probably your light sleep will be longer, but it doesn't mean that you have a good quality sleep. You can understand it from having the next day waking up, although you slept a lot of hours, but still you don't feel really refreshed. Or maybe you wake up Thursday, or dry mouth, or other issues like the fatigue and aches maybe in the body and stiffness. A lot of different things you can feel, and they can be indication of poor quality sleep. You can think about how you can have a quality sleep at the end of the day. Is like 3 steps, and the first one would be the optimizing your internal environment, let's call it. And then you can optimize your external environment and also your schedule of the sleep, like before the sleep and during the sleep, what you can do. First step, as we said, is the internal environment. What we mean is that, first of all, as soon as you wake up, it's a good idea to have the bright light of the sun, the natural light, and the body will absorb it. and also exercise during the day. It shouldn't be like, heavy bodybuilding. I'm not talking about that, but just a small walk, which will be in the nature. So you will have maybe also the sunlight, and you will have a double effect of starting a good day in order to have a quality sleep. This is our aim, right? So this is the connection. And then, of nutritional sense, if you will have anti-inflammatory diet, which is having all the nutrition foods that are low in inflammation, which then will help you to digest easier. And throughout the night, you won't digest, but you will rest and restore instead of trying to digest the food. This is the internal environment of you and what can help you. You can have, of course, sometimes supplements and probiotics to help your digestive system. And also, it is important to avoid the sleep disruptors like alcohol, nicotine, smoking, and caffeine, especially before going to sleep, maybe 1-2 hours. And even for the caffeine, I can say after 3 p.m. is a good idea not to drink caffeine and also alcohol. But it also depends how your body is reacting to caffeine. Some people are more sensitive, some people less. So again, listen to your body and see how it affects you, but it can keep you awake. And alcohol, a lot of people are saying, is helping to get asleep, right? Easing your way to get sleep. But throughout the night, it can wake you up. Alcohol is not suggested to have, especially at night, but we can have sometimes this pleasure too. Just know the effects and maybe don't do it regularly. Okay, so this was the first step. Our internal environment, depending on our movement, seeing the light, and eating properly, and maybe less eating towards sleep and in the evening, and sleep disruptors not to use. Also, medications can disrupt, but sometimes, of course, we have to have this medication, and you can talk about it with your practitioner, but it can also disrupt your sleep, some of the medication. So now I would like to talk about actually optimizing our external environment, which is, I think, more fun. I will talk more about our bedroom. It's a good idea to have a dark room, dimming the light towards the night, and during the night when you sleep, how much it's dark, it's better. And you can use heavy curtains and have blue light blockers when you are awake. But at the night time, evening time, you can have the blue light blocker glasses you can wear in order to just block the blue light, which is disrupting your melatonin production and also your circadian rhythm. It's a good idea that your room will be cool. Recommended is around 18 Celsius, 18 degree, 60, 64 maybe Fahrenheit. For me, it's too cold, but anyway, I try to keep my room cooler than the regular time of the day. It's a good idea also having some sense of lavender or other relaxing good smells that you like. You can do also activities to relax your body. This is a little bit part of the schedule, but in the environment, you can have some good quality smells and essential oils. And also your bedroom should be made a little bit tidy, clean, comfortable, the quality of your mattress and other things that you use, your sheets, etc. Sense of having a pleasure in your bedroom. And also they're saying the bedroom is for sleep or for sex, but not other activity, because the other activities, even reading book, can be disrupting your sleep if it's not calming you. If it's something that soothes you, so it can be, but generally it is not recommended to mix up things, especially, of course, screen time. Your phone or computer shouldn't be in your bedroom. It's a good idea also, at least 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed, not to have screen time. And before that, having the blue light blocker glasses, which are having a special filter that filtering out the blue light is coming from our screen or bright light. Also, the light from the room, they can help to lower. Also, the screen itself has the blue light canceling desktop, your computers. You can use also that. So these are the external environment, your bedroom. So just try to make your bedroom like sanctuary, a special place, so that you can feel really relaxed. This is the environment. And for the schedule, By the way, if you have any questions, of course, we can have a stop there. If not, actually, the next step is scheduling your day and towards your sleep. So it is really highly recommended to go to bed and to wake up approximately same time every day, even in the weekend if it's possible. So then your body knows when to prepare to go to bed and producing melatonin throughout the night before you go to sleep. And then when you will wake up, the body knows already. So start to produce the cortisol levels in order to wake you up. This is one thing. Another thing is to stop eating at least 1 or 2 hours before you sleep and not having a heavy dinner, like dining with heavy meals with spices and the other heavy stuff. Better to have a light one in order to have less digestion and more restoration throughout your sleep. Not to drink even water just before bed, maybe only 1 glass of water before you go to bed, because it can make you, of course, throughout the night wake up and go to toilet. It's better not to drink a lot. In order to relax before going to sleep, you can have a chamomile tea or other relaxation effects giving herbal teas. What else? And also not to exercise after maybe 6 p.m., like 2-3 hours before your sleep. It is also not recommended. But on the other hand, you can also have relaxing, stretching out activities, maybe soft yoga, and then other relaxation activities like meditation, visualization, positive thinking, but not going to the negative path. Because it can disrupt, of course, not to have the arguments before sleep, and also checking your mails or checking your financial reports. It's better not to have them before sleep. They can create anxiety even in the low level, but it will disrupt your sleep. And these are the things that I thought of. Actually, of course, you can have some supplements if you have already some problems like insomnia, etc. And natural herbal things, ashwagandha, GABA, neurotransmitter, magnesium, in order to have more relaxed muscles throughout the night. But of course, as we always say, if you have some supplementation, you need to talk with your practitioner, doctor, and check what is the need and which amount you should have of those. Yeah, Eli, do you have other points?
There were discussions around that wine being, in general, good option. Maybe that's maximum with dinner, and maybe at least a couple of hours before school.
Drinking wine or alcohol is interesting. Like for drinking a glass of wine, they're saying that it's good for maybe cardiovascular health, but not for your brain. So alcohol is always toxic to your brain. But again, this toxicity you can balance with sports, etc., other relaxing activities. So it doesn't mean that you don't have you shouldn't never drink alcohol, but just be aware of the effects and try to balance it. For relaxation, we can have a hot water shower, not exactly 5 minutes before we go sleep, but half an hour before we go to sleep. And it's a good idea to have the routine just before you go to bed, being repetitive for every day. Your body will get used to the idea that when I put my pajamas and brush my teeth, so it seems that in 10 minutes I will go to sleep. Your body will learn it, and it will be easier to go to sleep. Of course, you can have some breathing exercises, especially at the days that you had a stressful events. When I have a stressful work day, before I go to sleep, I'm using specific breathing exercises that are relaxing me, and then also a little bit yoga. It really helps. And maybe a little one tip that I would like to give is that it is recommended not to toss around more than like 5, 10, maybe 20 minutes maximum. It is recommended just to get up, having something relaxing, as we told, and then coming back to the bed. Trying to get into the sleep in the bed a long time is making the things worse. So it's a good idea to just have a break, trying to sleep, go out from bedroom, having something light to breathe, maybe not exciting, calming, breathing exercise again, and then go back to bed, try to sleep.
Yes, perfect. One thing you had mentioned before with me was about mm, tracking sleep and having a sleep journal. I think with a serious approach, this is one of the best things for any change, from nutrition to anything else for exercise. Again, with sleep, these are very important.
It's very important actually, because when you journaling, you get much more mindful about what is going on, and you can pay attention to the things that you weren't aware of. Let's say that maybe you're waking up many times throughout the night, which shouldn't be, or having a hard time to get into the sleep, but it takes you much more time than you thought. So yeah, being aware of the things, as always we say, is very important, and journaling is a very good way to do that. There are a lot of applications and tools that you can use in order to check your sleep, track your sleep, and even help to relax before sleep. Yeah, this is it for me.
I also had another note beforehand saying one of the top tips was to prioritize sleep. So I love that idea because many people think it's not, it's a lot of time or waste of time. So I think that's a very good advice that you give. Prioritize sleep. I would say prioritize yourself. And one final thing on my side, work usually actually starts in the evening. So I think that's a good thing to remember. If you prepare well for your sleep, your next day will be definitely better and you will fulfill your potential much more.
Yeah, amazing connection. Thank you for that. I didn't think about that. As always, if you have questions or to talk with us, we would be happy to connect with you and try to see how we can help. See you next week again at the same time. Until then, have a good quality sleep.
Yes, have a good sleep, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi there, I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to access all of our episodes and receive notifications for new releases. Additionally, you can listen to our episodes on Spotify, Amazon Music, Castbox, and Apple Podcasts. To stay updated with more content from Core Acts, we invite you to follow our Instagram and Facebook pages. Feel free to save, like, and comment on your favorite episodes on your preferred platform. Lastly, we would deeply appreciate it if you could share and invite your loved ones to follow us on any platform convenient for them. This way, we can reach more people and contribute to elevating their health and life quality through healthy lifestyle changes. Thank you for your support.